You know, there was a time when we had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But song references aside, old ones as a matter of fact, you know, a lot can change in a very short amount of time.
We're talking about young love this morning. So what do you do when you're young and in love and the person you're dating is going in one direction in life, you're going in another?
This is actually a letter. This comes from a viewer writing in.
Long distance.
Info at TonyKurreRadio.net through my radio, and they said we love watching on Fox 6 with Dr. Klapow every single week and Mike and Janice.
Wow.
And so we have a guy and a girl who have dated all through high school. This is coming from the father. He said that he wants his son to go out and explore. He's 18 years old. It's time to cut things off. You know, you can date her long shot.
And he's the one who has a scholarship to a certain school.
He's got a scholarship to a different school. Her mom and dad are saying, you're going to school here.
Okay.
You're not following her, but if he wants to follow you, we have no problem with that. And so the son wants to go. Here's the twist. The mother and the father, who wrote this letter, met in high school. They've been married for 36 years. And he's like, well, you guys did it. Why can't I go follow her? And so the father's like, we just want you to slow down a little bit. He's like, I've been dating her throughout high school. How slow do you want me to go?
And I'm 18 years old.
I'm 18 years old. Why can't I go? Push me out of the nest.
All right, Doc, so should a parent intervene?
You have to do something, right? You have to. The question is, what do you do?
They're 18, though.
No, I know. So if you really have a strong view, we talked about this. One, you can play the money card, right? Which is, look, you have a scholarship here, and you can go here, but we're not going to pay for you to go here. That's going to create a lot of conflict, but you can do that. The other thing, though, is you can absolutely let them navigate this themselves, but as I always talk about, and he's really good with this, plant some seeds. Like, number one, why not have a long distance relationship for a short period of time, right? Because it's, again, when you're 18, when you're in love, it's all or none.
Exactly.
I'm going or not going.
Yeah.
So you know, there is that idea of, hey, I'll tell you what, take the first semester and see how it goes.
Is it too much to ask them at this age to say, okay, you want to move? It's kind of like two people moving in together. Have you talked about your future? Are you guys planning on getting married? Are you going to start a family? What happens if she gets pregnant? Is that too early?
No, it's not. And I think the only problem you run into, because I think those are great, real questions. And if your child at 18 is going to say, I want to be an adult and go follow, it's okay to start saying, okay, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? The problem you run into at that age, particularly when your heart is gone, is it just shuts down. They're thinking about love.
Yeah. Dr. Josh Klapow, let me ask you this. Okay, so in the old days, decades ago, people did marry young. Fewer people are doing it these days statistically. So is it good advice to say, hey, go ahead and date other people so you can figure out what you like? Or if the fact that he feels like he's already met his love, maybe not?
So, you know, there's kind of actually a resurgence of this younger marriage, at 22, 23, 24. And I think one of the challenges you run into is you can tell them, go date other people. And that's a good, rational, you know, thing. Again, this problem is once our heart is gone,
you don't want to date other people.
Yeah, why would I want to date other
do
people?
things that we don't want to do? And so as a parent, you're really stuck. And the more you kind of push and hammer, the more they're going to, we all know this.
And what happens if he stays put or goes to this other school and she ends up meeting someone new? Then his mom and dad are never going to hear the end of it. Again, they met in a high school. You guys have been married for 40 years.
Blame the parents.
You're going to blame the parents.
You ruined my life.
Because you didn't. But you know what? You can make the argument that you have to let it go, right? You have to let it go, and if it comes back to you, it's yours. If you don't, then it's not yours.
And you know what?
I
think you got to be there at the most important at any age, and we all have older kids. You got to be there to pick up the pieces as a parent because it's going to go, and if it works, that's fantastic, and if it doesn't, you know, this even at age 20, 22, 23, 30, as a parent, that's your job.
Because we were that age, and we remember what we were like, but like you tell your son or whatever now, if your 25, 26-year-old self could tell your 15, 16-year-old self some things, it would say, chill out, slow down, become who you're going to be.
But we all say that, and that's the fundamental problem, right?
Yeah.
Our 18-year-old self is not our 25-year-old self. So the best thing I say is, like, be the safety net. Be the emotional safety net. Let them go. And then, as we were talking about in this case, try a long-distance relationship for a semester, see how it goes.
I like the idea. Let things play out. Pick up the pieces if you have to. By the way, just a side note to that, Janice covers a real good Patsy Cline, I Fall to Pieces. So she's got it all covered both ways. Dr. Klapow, Tony Kurre, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Is karaoke? I'm not going to say.